In today's video, Arlecchino, 4th of the Fatui Harbingers and father of the children of the House of the Hearth. Arlecchino is a 5-star Spyro character, polyamor user, main DPS in Vape and Overload teams. In this video you'll find tips, talents, explanations, artifact sets, weapons and more, so keep watching if you want to have the best Arlecchino in Genshin. Join my Discord server if you want to make friends and play Genshin or other games. You're more than welcome to join. So without further ado, this is Arlecchino's character investment, and let's jump right into her active talents. With a normal attack, she performs up to 6 conservative strikes, and with the charge attack, she consumes stamina dashing towards the opponents and cleaving once. By holding this button, Arlecchino will consume stamina and be able to move faster thanks to her wing. This last part is great for exploration since it also works to cross water. The other really interesting characteristic of this talent is Arlecchino's own mechanic, Mask of the Red Death. So when Arlecchino has a bundle of life equal or greater than 30% of her max HP, she will enter this state that will infuse her normal, charge and plunging attacks with Pyro. Also, this can be overhidden, so characters with the ability that can infuse hits, like Chungyun for example, cannot make Arlecchino hits become cryo. In Chungyun's case, if she is in her Mask of the Red Death state. When Arlecchino is in Mask of the Red Death, she deals extra damage with her normal attack, which is going to scale off her attack multiplied by the current bundle of life percentage. Every hit she deals will consume 7.5% of her current bundle of life percentage, so she's gonna lose 7.5% of her bundle of life, but 7.5% as a value is always going to be different due to the percentage of bundle of life decreasing for each hit. This is an example in case I didn't make myself clear, so let's just pretend she has 85% of bundle of life. We can see the 7.5% of 85 is equal to 6.3, so it's gonna be 85% minus 6 equals 79%. At this point, with the next hit is going to be 7.5% of 79 and not 85%, and we'll have 5.9, so you see that is always kinda the same but with a little less. This leads Arlecchino to deal hits that will decrease in damage from one to another since her bond of life percentage decreases from each hit. The last information is that every time we consume bond of life like this, the cooldown of her skill is gonna decrease by 0.8 seconds. Talking of it, with the elemental skill she deals an instance of AoE pyro damage, marking opponent's hit with a blood depth directive, which has a few properties. Opponent's mark will take an instance of pyro damage every 5 seconds. This damage will be considered elemental skill damage, and when Arlecchino uses the charge attack or the burst, the mark will vanish and grants her 65% of bond of life. Last active talent is the burst, of course, with which she deals AoE pyro damage and heals herself based on her attack and bond of life percentage. This is the only way she can be healed during a fight, so be careful and ready to dodge opponent's hits or have a shielder in the team to not make her take damage. The cost of her burst is 60, so give her a little of energy recharge. 130, 140 should be enough with another pyro character in the team. The level priority is normal attack, burst and last skill. She is the first one in the rotation using her skill, and while the opponents are marked, use all your support's abilities, and after that use Arlecchino with her charge attack and then normal attacks. Let's have a look at her passive talents now. With the first one, Arlecchino will have bond of life worth 130% of her max HP and a marked opponent's die, which is a property you'll find yourself use a lot, but this doesn't count for every opponents. Like if you have 3 opponents and you mark them, if one of them dies, you will have 130% of max HP, but once another opponent dies, you won't have this buff. If you are in the Abyss, once you defeat these 3 opponents, you can use this property on the other wave, but this can happen the same wave. But also, you can obtain the same percentage of bond of life by waiting 5 seconds in order to make the blood depth directive mark level up to a blood depth due. So that's why she uses the skill and leaves the field. You can have all the buffs activated and the full percentage of bond of life without wasting time waiting. With the second one, Arlecchino gains 1% all elemental and physical resistance for every 100 attacks she has over 1000. The max resistance she can gain this way is 20%, so try to have 3000 of attack to take the most out of this passive talent. And with the last one, while in combat, she gains 40% pyro damage bonus, which is really strong and also strange since the third passive talent is usually a facilitation in game for exploration, crafting materials and etc. In her case, it's an offensive one and also really relevant, so she has 3 offensive passive talents that really make stand out in damage and in the meta. Before we uncover her artifacts options, the majority of the viewers are not subscribed, so subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content and make sure to activate the notifications to don't miss out any future guides of your favorite characters. So for the artifacts, for 2-piece she can use 2-piece attack, Gladiator, Simanawa and all others, 2-piece pyro damage, Crimson Witch of Flames, and 2-piece normal charge attack, Marechaussee Hunter. For 4-piece she can use Gladiator's Finale, it gives her attack with the 2-piece, and with the 4-piece you have 35% damage bonus for normal attacks just because she is a polyarm wielder, which is really good since you permanently have this bonus without doing anything. Then Fragment of Harmonic Whimsy, which is the perfect set for her since it gives attack bonus and 80% damage bonus every time the value of bundle life increases or decreases, and stacks up to 3, so 54% in total as a bonus in damage, which is really strong for her also because it increases increases general damage and not just a specific type of damage, so really good. Last, Crimson Witch of Flames that gives 15% of pyro damage, increases the damage of Burgeon, Overload and Burning by 40%, and Vaporize and Melt by 15%, then increases the 2-piece bonus with an additional 22% pyro damage, but when she uses the elemental skill she actually goes off field, so it's almost useless. Give her this set only if you don't have neither of Fragment and Gladiator. I didn't mention Simanawa since the 4-piece is not good as it looks, which it increases normal attack damage by taking away 15 energy, and she actually needs it to use the burst since you won't only use it to heal her and deal damage but also to reset the skill cooldown, which is really useful to restore the rotation pace. The rank of her 4-piece set is Crimson in 3rd place, Gladiator in 2nd place, and Fragment in 1st place. Main stats are Attack on the Sand, Pyro damage on the Goblet, and crits on the Circlet. Sub-stats are crits, attack, EM, and energy recharge. Let me know in the comments who do you prefer as a DPS between Mavuika and Arlecchino. But now let's move on to her weapons options. First option is Crimson Moon Semblance, which is her best in slot. It gives her crit rate and a nice bonus effect that gives her more Bond of Life and a bonus in damage of a total of 36%. This is her signature weapon, so it suits her really well, of course. Primordial Jade also gives her crit rate and a lot of attack. If it increases her attack and damage once you have all these stacks of the effect. This would activate after a full combo of her with the skill and 6 normal attacks. Staff of Oma, which gives crit damage. The HP bonus is not needed, but it provides an attack bonus based on the wielder HP and increases it if Arlecchino's HP are below 50%, which might happen since she can't be healed. And even though you can heal her with her burst, I suggest you to use it more strategically during the rotations rather than use it only for healing. Now for first options. First option is Deathmatch, which gives a lot of crit rate, which is really good since it makes the build easier. The flat attack is pretty low, but it's increased by the effect, which will grant you a buff based on how many opponents you are dealing with. Blackleaf Pole gives a lot of crit damage, but I honestly think the effect is not that good since if you're fighting with a boss it won't activate, so give her this weapon if you really don't have any other alternatives. And last, Dragon's Pain. It's good if you're playing in a vaporized team since it increases by 20% the damage on opponents that have Pyro and Hydro on. Also gives a lot of EM that can come useful in vape teams, so this is a free-to-play option which limits her to play only in vape teams. So if you have her build like this, her performances won't be particularly buffed by this weapon in other types of teams. Let's have a look at the constellations before team comps so we can understand if there are any constellations needed, or we can play Arlecchino C0 still having great performances. With the first one, she will deal more damage since her state is enhanced. Additionally, her resistance interruption is further increased, which is really good for her damage pace. The second one is really strong since the blood depth directives are now already blood depth due, so you no longer have to wait after using her skill, which leads you to have a different rotation, which is also going to be faster. So now you can have the full percentage of Bond of Life, and also you will deal more damage with the charge attack since it also has a damage bonus of 900% over attack and grants her an additional 20% elemental physical resistance. So in total she's gonna have 40% general resistance. This constellation is really strong. Third one increases by 3 levels normal attack, really good in her case. With the fourth one, when Arlecchino absorbs a blood depth directive, she will decrease her burst cooldown by 2 seconds and restore herself 15 elemental energy. That's really good since the burst also deals great damage and allows you to reset the skill cooldown, which makes the rotations even easier. The fifth increases by 3 levels the burst, which is really good since, as I said before, it can also deal great damage. And with the last one, Arlecchino's burst damage is increased by Arlecchino's attack multiplied by 700% of her current Bond of Life, and after she uses her skill, normal attack and burst will both have their crit rate increased by 10% and crit damage increased by 70% for 20 seconds. This constellation of course makes you deal a lot more damage with the burst and helps you with the balance of crit ratio, so pretty good, but it's the C6, so kinda hard to have. Now for team comps, first option is a vape team with Arlecchino, Xingqiu, Bennett and Yellen. In this team you have Xingqiu applying Hydro and increasing Arlecchino's resistance interruption, Bennett buffing in attack, and Yellen buffing Arlecchino's damage. You can replace Xingqiu with Siltrali and Yellen with Furina, it depends on how you have built them. Second option is an overload team with Arlecchino, Official, Shevers and Yaimiko. In this team you have Yaimiko dealing damage, so she doesn't buff the team but makes you have a great support in damage, also thanks to her burst. Official, which also deals electro damage and helps Yae with energy recharge thanks to her incredible particles production. And lastly, Shevers, which heals and most importantly decreases opponents' resistance to Pyro and Electro, which is really good. Another option can be with Beidou replacing Yae. You can even replace Fischl but leave Shevers where she is because she is fundamental for this type of team. Last option can be a Mel team with Arlecchino, Citalali, Bennett and Kazuha. Citalali is perfect for this team since you trigger the elemental reaction that activates her second passive talent. Bennett does the same thing as always, and Kazuha reduces opponents' resistance and also increases Arlecchino's elemental damage. In this case you can replace plays casual with Shilon if you have her. And that's all you needed to know about our father Arlecchino. I hope this video came useful to you. Don't forget to leave a comment on what you think of this incredible character. I remind you to subscribe to the channel and also to my TikTok and Instagram accounts, to join my Discord server if you want to participate to the next videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!